the sermon, I wanted to share some pre-sermon details here. I hope you're able to see everything properly, right? One of the challenges నేను అబ్జర్వ్ చేస్తుంది ఏంటంటే ఐ విల్ ట్రై టు స్విచ్ బ్యాక్ అండ్ ఫోర్త్ ఫ్రమ్ తెలుగు అండ్ ఇంగ్లీష్. I hope that's okay. One of the challenges that I see for Christians is when we come to the God's presence, how do we present ourselves? So human psychology చూసినట్లయితే as soon as we enter a place, without our knowledge, what we do is we assess the room. It's called reading the room. If you're in the meetings, we are all professionals, so we understand what reading the room is, right? You immediately look at everyone and you either place them either on par, like they're probably your equals, or probably they're better, or probably they're not that great, somewhere below you. And based on that assessment, all of this happens as like second nature. Just like we feel hungry, just like everything, just like we breathe the air, right? It's second nature to us. And then, depending on how we assess the other people in the room, we start behaving accordingly, right? And some things that are human in nature, it's very tough to overcome those things. But what I want all of us to do is, when we come to God's presence, right, we should try to overcome these human aspects that we have within ourselves. Here we are in front of God, for God, to hear what God wants to say to us. God is trying to speak to you. So what I encourage you to do is, first thing is humility, because in front of God, all our achievements, whatever we are, whoever we are, whatever we have, all of that is nothing, because all of that was given to us by God, right? So God doesn't really care about any of that stuff. So as soon as you come to the church, the first thing that we should do, or when you're getting prepared for the sermon, what I want you to do is, what I encourage all of us to do, including me, right? I am also human, we are all human, is have that humility, okay? Be humble. Come in front of God and say, like, God, I'm nothing. I am here. I need your help. I need encouragement from you. Give me the message that I need. Okay? That's the first thing. Second thing is, sometimes, long time ago, like when I was back in India, in my church, whenever I go to my church, my dad is a preacher for the past like 60 years or something. I always used to feel the whole message is about me. I feel like, why is dad doing this? Why does he always preach about me? Why can't it be about someone else? And later on, as years went by, I found out that everyone felt the same way, right? And you should feel that. If you're not feeling that, something is not right. In every message, you should feel that this message is for me. God is speaking to me. If you're not feeling that, there could be a lot of reasons. One of the things is, sometimes we are so hard, we are closed from within. Our body is here, but our mind is not here. But for you to have an impactful Christian life, for you to hear God, God is knocking on your heart, but you should be willing to listen. So what I encourage us to do is, we have so many distractions in this life, right? What happens after church, or maybe I have my work tomorrow, whatever is your situation, we all have so many things going on in our lives. So what I want you to do is, just be present, bring your presence here. And the third aspect is, attention is really tough in these days. It's always been tough. Back in the day, if you remember, Christ went to the mountain. What did people do? They followed him. Imagine going to the mountain, someone speaking, you're hearing, you could hardly hear bits and pieces of it. But today, we are in the age of TikTok or short videos, right? Now, if you have a 2-hour movie, you no longer want to watch that. Back in the day, we used to have 4-hour movies or 3-hour movies. Now everything is condensed because we get bored very easily. We can't focus. And that's again human nature, just like everything else. There's nothing wrong with us. We are designed that way. We can't focus for too long because mind wanders. So research suggests that the maximum attention, undivided attention that you can give is in tens of seconds. For some people is around 8 seconds. For people who are like really focused and you have mastered that skill, it's tens of seconds. That means maybe 90 seconds. That's a minute and a half. But it's really tough, right? The message is for 45 minutes. How do you focus? How do you listen to God? because we don't get to listen to God during the weekday. We are busy, we are doing a lot of things. But for these 45 minutes, what you should do is, you should make an effort. The mind will be wandering, and you should bring it back. Hey, don't go anywhere, because we are here to listen to the word of God. God wants to talk to you, but your mind is wandering everywhere. It's tough, but we have to practice, just like everything else, right? We want to lose some weight. It's something that we all relate to. We go to the gym, right? One day you go to the gym is not enough. You have to practice it day in, day out. You got to practice eating well. You got to do all of those things, and it's possible, right? But is it easy? It's definitely not easy. So the third thing that I wanted to talk about is, the other day I received a mail. We actually wanted to do a small act, but we couldn't, but maybe somewhere down the line we will plan that. But the other day, the postman came to my house, the FedEx guy, as we all, we receive packages and stuff, right? He came and knocked the door, and then I went, oh yeah, thanks for the package. You look really good. How are you having? What's going on in your life? How was your day? How many kids do you have? We had a nice conversation. He gave me a package. I kept the package away, and that's fine. And after a couple of days, another guy comes from UPS. Again, the same thing. We are having a great conversation. Wow, nice. And then almost like we are friends, and we are having that conversation. And I put the package away. It kept on going for a month. So many packages from FedEx, so many packages from UPS, and I never opened them, right? How realistic does that sound? Do we usually have that kind of conversations with the FedEx guys or the UPS guys? Maybe, yeah. How was your day? How is the weather? But beyond that, do you really get into their personal details and all of that, right? What is important? Is the FedEx guy important, or is the package important? You could speak. We are a small congregation, right? So no harm. I'm trying to get your attention, because I don't want your minds to wander, right? So that's what I'm trying to do, right? Is the package important, or the FedEx guy important? Package is important. Now let's say we have water coming through the taps, right? Wherever you go, you have a faucet. You open the faucet, the water comes. What is important, the faucet or the water? Water is important, right? So we never say, oh my God, this faucet is like insanely awesome. I'm blown away by it. Or you just open the water and you just like, it's second nature. Water is important. We all know that, right? Similarly, what happens is, there's so many people bringing the word of God to you. They are not important. We are just the vessels. We are like nothing. But what you should focus on is the word, the package, right? Package is coming from God. I am just a delivery person, right? I am the faucet, but the water is coming to you. Are you willing to take that package and open the package and make use of whatever that package contains for you in your life, right? And lastly, what I want you to think about is, when you come to the church, right? This is the most important one and the tough one, that it'll be challenging for everyone. Come prepared, right? Even I came late, so it's I said I am also human, right? But we should make an effort to be prepared. How many times can we come early and get into that groove, right? I'll give you an example. I want to ask this question. Probably everyone knows this question, right? This is from the Bahubali movie, so you probably pretty much everyone saw this, right? Who killed, or why did Katappa kill Bahubali, right? We all know the answer. Even after 50 years, I ask you this question, you will answer this, right? It's like second nature. You saw a movie 20 years ago. I will ask you something from that. Yeah, we are all perfectly fine. Why did Jesus die on the cross? Like, yeah, let me think about it. Yeah, I know he died. But why? We have to think about it, right? Because we are still figuring that out. That's again human in nature. We tend to remember the things that are important, that are interesting. How do you make God interesting to yourself? That's on you, right? You could listen to great messages Sunday after Sunday. I know Pastor has been doing this for the past 2 years, encouraging you with the Word of God. But what really, the real difference is, what are you doing with it? How do you apply it in your lives? How do you come prepared? You should be excited to come to the Sunday. So the way I used to think of it as, when I come to Sunday, I'm going to get something from this message that will be useful for the next 1 week, if not my entire life, right? Entire life is tough, as I said, we tend to forget. Can we take away something from today's message that you can use in your lives for the next 1 week? That is what I want to achieve today. Something that you can take away from today's message that can have an impact on your life for the next 1 week. I'm not asking for more than that, right? So let's keep going. So today is like a super fun, something that we all know, right? So I'm showing you a portfolio. We all understand portfolios, right? So we're all working. So this is a financial portfolio. We all understand this because we are paying our bills, we are earning money, we are doing a lot of things in our life, and somehow everything is tied to this pie chart that you're seeing here. Right? This is pretty much all inclusive. There might be some investment type or an instrument that I didn't cover here, but if you want to look at it, it has 401ks, we know what that is. We have 521bs, we know what that is. We have savings accounts, we have checking accounts, we have real estate, we have crypto. Think of it, right? You have stocks, bonds, pretty much everything, right? So day in, day out in our life, what we do is we wake up in the morning and then we assess our portfolio, right? I do this, so there's no harm in doing that, right? It's important. Our portfolio is important because what are we trying to achieve with this portfolio? What does this portfolio give us? Why are we so focused on earning money? Right from the beginning, right? You earn money either through a job or sometimes through inheritance. Maybe your parents are rich, they gave you some money, but you still have to protect it, right? If you don't protect it, it'll be gone. We have seen people who are billionaires who vanished because they didn't protect their wealth properly, right? Or you win a lottery, whatever it is, or you have a business and you make money. As soon as you make money, then you're thinking about, now I have to manage this money. And why do we manage this money? Because we want our future to be secured and we want our future generations to be secured, right? We are doing this for our kids, maybe our son, daughter, right? Or maybe even the extended family, if you're generous enough, maybe you're doing it for people beyond your family, right? This is all great. But what do you need? Because even though this is such an easy picture, majority of us really don't have instruments across the pie chart. Very few do, right? If you look at it from a financial perspective, diversification is the key. Let's say you invest all your money in real estate, something happens. We had the real estate boom in US, if you remember, right? 800K houses became 300, but we are still paying mortgage for 800. No longer, we can't sustain that. So what do? Right? Or if you put all your money in gold, what if it doesn't give you that return? We know how much, we look at the trending chart. Or what if you put all your cash in your checking account? What about inflation? That's going to eat away at it, right? So there's no one single way. You have to look at the pie chart and say, like, I have this much money, let me throw it on the pie chart, and it's probably going to stick. So I'm showing some examples here, 30%, 15%, 20%, but each of us is different, right? We are humans, we tend to think differently. Some of us might invest more in real estate, some of us might invest more in crypto, like the newer folks, who are younger generations, the Gen Z, if you look at it, they're more into crypto. They like that. They don't like real estate right now, right? So a lot of different things. But what's the key to investing? Financial knowledge, right? So this we talked about. The foundation, you should understand money. What is money? How does it work? How do I make money? If you don't have a good understanding of how do I make money, then forget about portfolio. There's no portfolio. If you don't know how to make money, then there's no portfolio. And if you're not thinking about making money and your portfolio, then you don't have a secured future, either for you or for your future generations. And a lot of these things we should learn early on in life, but for some reason, some of us do, some of us don't. For the people who start early on, right? If you have financial wisdom at a very young age, you tend to do really good in your life because you learned how to manage money. and then you build wealth and you pass it on to the next generation, or you have a great life with that wealth, whatever it is that you want to do with it. Right? So if you see that, it's like a pyramid, right? The first thing is having proper foundations in finance, in money, understanding how things work is the foundation for your success in this world, right? It's a given. We will not fight that. Why is it a given? Because we have seen this happen time and time again. We have seen this in so many people's lives, right? Someone comes and says like, hey, invest in this stock, you'll make money. We go ahead and then invest in that, we make some money, right? Someone says, this real estate is a great market, you should invest now. And then we jump right in, right? So this happens day in, day out in our lives. Now, this is great, right? We should do this. This is absolutely important. If you meet me outside of church, that is what I would recommend, because I started my career at Lehman Brothers. I worked in finance for a majority of my life. I wanted to be a stockbroker. I wanted to be like a money manager. A lot of dreams that we have, right? So if you meet me outside of this church, I'll say like, yeah, that's the most important thing. That's what you should do. But here we are in God's presence, right? Today the big question for all of us, as I said, you don't need the whole message. You don't need all the references that we will talk about. Just one takeaway. Focus on what is it that touches you. Find something in this message that will touch your heart, that will enter your heart, because the word is coming from Jesus. He's knocking. Are you willing to make that change in your life? Now, the question that I want to ask is, how does your spiritual portfolio look like? Right? How many times do you visit your spiritual portfolio? Sam, what is spiritual portfolio? I've never heard this, right? We have stock exchange, and I have Fidelity, or I have other applications where I manage all my assets, but I never heard about this one. What is this, right? So the bigger or the greater investment that you can make in life, along with the financial investments that you're making, is your investment in Jesus, right? Your investment in Christian life. How does that look today? What I want you to do for the rest of the week is go home, take a pie chart. I'm getting you started, but it's not complete. What I want you to do is look at this, assess your portfolio, right? And no one can assist you in this, only you, because no one is going to look at your portfolio, right? If you come to my home and say like, Sam, show me your financial portfolio, there's no way I'm going to show that. That's my secret. It stays with me. Maybe I won't even share with my wife. Who knows? It depends. Some I might, some maybe I'm not comfortable, right? But I'm doing it for the good of the family. Similarly, what I want you to do is, this week, the exercise for all of us is, including me, all of us, is I want you to create a portfolio. I want you to put a picture of a pie chart in your living room, in your bedroom, wherever, whatever is your hangout place, put it there. And I want you to look at it every single day. And our goal is diversification, right? Because diversification is the name of the game. We don't want to invest everything in one thing, right? Because who knows? Then God might ask, what about that? What about this? Think of it like this. You're a very good person. You do all the great deeds. You never show up to the church. You never read Bible. You don't know who God is. You don't have faith. Will that work? Yeah. One slice of the pie, you're doing great. But the other way, everywhere else, it's 0, 0, 0. Doesn't help you. Right? So how do we build this portfolio? That is the focus of this lesson. Right? So to build a financial portfolio, we said, right? To build a financial portfolio, I think a couple of slides they missed, but that's fine, we'll figure it out. Right? To build a financial portfolio, understanding finance is important, understanding money is important. If you don't understand that, if you lie to yourself, thinking that without having the money, if you feel like, yeah, it's okay, I'm going to invest. Let's say you have 10K. With 10K, if you're going to invest, what about emergency fund? That means you don't have proper understanding of finance. You're not doing it the right way. Then it's like shooting yourself in the foot, because it's going to come back and bite you. If not now, in few days. Right? Similarly, understanding the portfolio that you're going to build of eternal life is very important. What are the basics for that? The basis for everything in Christianity is faith. And I want to question each of us here, all of us. Let's ask ourselves, what is faith? Do we really believe what we are hearing? Right? So think of the times of Jesus. When Jesus was there, when he was living on this earth, he talked to so many people. There were so many smart people, right? People who knew in and out of Bible, or in and out of everything, the times that Jesus was. What did all of those people do? They always were trying to find fault with him. They were like, oh yeah, you're doing this, but are you not supposed to do this? We are the smart people, we know everything. Why are you doing this? You're not supposed to do this, right? And who are the people who trusted? Or who are the people who had the faith to follow him? Think of the fishermen who were fishing. We all know whom we are talking about, right? Jesus said, leave the nets. Come follow me. I will teach you how to fish in a different landscape altogether. You're going to fish for souls. You're going to fish for the kingdom. And then, what did they say? This is great, but tell me, how is this going to work out? How many fish are we going to catch? How much money will I make out of it? If I'm leaving this, let's say you're already working somewhere, right? Let's say you're working at Amazon. Someone from some other company calls and say like, hey, do you want to join us? We have a position. What do you ask immediately? Yeah, let's do it. Do you do that? No. What's the title? What does the pay look like? What are the benefits? What do I get out of it? If the offer is not better than what I'm already doing, I'm not going to do that. Doesn't make any sense whatsoever, right? But why did certain people leave everything and follow Jesus? Is it because they verified? Did they sit there and say like, let me sleep on it, because we do this all the time, right? Let me sleep on it. Give me some time because I'm very smart. I'm going to think about it and I'm going to come back to you, Jesus. Give me few days. No, they just, right? Did they have proof of something? Did Jesus do a miracle in front of them saying that, see, this is what I can do everything. Come on, now follow me. Christian living is like that. Sometimes what we do is we spend our entire life with questions. Believe me, you'll never get those answers because I went through that path. Your questions will get some answers, and those answers will lead to more questions. Somewhere down the line, you have to cut to the chase and start believing. If you don't have faith, then there is no Christianity. We are not Christians without faith. And how does that faith work? The other day in Florida, there was a weatherman talking about, we have a category 5 hurricane coming from the west side. We have another category 2 hurricane coming from the east side. Both could turn into category 5s and hit the land, right? What if we are in that situation? What do? We immediately pack our bags and start driving up north. We'll not stay there. 2 category 5 hurricanes coming from both sides. Florida is just like a thin strip. It's too risky, right? And they're already saying that it's risky, right? We trust. It's faith. We haven't seen that, right? We didn't see the tornado, or we didn't see the natural disaster happen. In Texas, tornadoes are a big thing. When we get a warning, we'll be like, let me just wait until this thing goes. Let me see the proof first. Once the tornado comes, then I'm going to move. Do we do that, or we just like, it's faith? We have so much faith. We have so much faith in ourselves, right? And the things that are happening in the world, we want scientific proof, because 1 + 1 is always going to be 2. It's never going to be 3, because we have the proof for that. But why did Jesus die on the cross? Why did he give his life? When did this happen? How did this happen? Was it really for me? Am I included in that? What do I have to do? The first thing is have faith. Believe. Have faith. Don't ask all these questions, because the more questions you ask, you'll never get these answers. Even the greatest research people haven't answered certain questions, because there are some certain places where Bible talks, there are certain places where Bible does not talk, and we don't know those answers, right? We are only human. But do you want to go in this journey without that faith? We have in the Bible where it says, like, either be warm or cold, right? Be hot or cold. Don't be in between. Then you'll be like nowhere. You'll be coming to church every Sunday, but without that faith, without that unwavering faith, there's no use. Your portfolio is going to go nowhere. You're deceiving yourselves, right? Because no one really cares if we come to church or if we are spending that, or where is yours. You should only care because it's your life. It's your eternal portfolio that you're building. Me and my wife, we are coming together. We don't know. She could be at a different level. I could be at a different level. But I can't cover for her, and she can't cover for me. I can't say my wife is doing good investments. I am good. She is spiritually good. So I am covered. My kids are covered. Doesn't work like that. It's my personal portfolio. We have to manage our own portfolio. And how does your faith look like? Just like everything in life, right? Is faith like a sine curve? Most of us are from engineering or some kind of a technical background. We know what a sine curve is, right? It's a nice smooth curve, ups and downs, right? Is it like that? Is that how our faith is? Or is it like a straight line going up the Mount Everest, and it keeps going forever and ever? If that's the case, that's awesome, right? That's great. That's what God's want, right? That's what the God wants us. But most of the times we are human. Our faith is like, one day it's up there on the Mount Everest, next day it's in the deepest valley. Something hits me. Let's say I lose my job today. What the hell, God, what are you doing? Are you even there? What happened? I'm the best person in this world. These things should not happen to me. I've been going to church every Sunday. I'm living the greatest life. I'm the best Christian in this world. Why did this happen? You took away my job. Maybe God had a different plan. He wanted you to do some business, or maybe a better job. But do we ever think like that? We don't, because we are human. That's natural. But that ties into faith. When you have questions like that, if you are questioning God, are you there? And believe me, we do. There are certain challenging times in our life where we tend to question everything. When everything is good, we are all good. Jesus, great. You are the one doing miracles in my life. But not every day is good. When there are challenges that we are not able to handle, we do question the existence of God, right? So that is how you assess where your faith is. If you are at a situation where you're questioning God, I don't know all the situations that we are in. Each of us might be going through so many things in our lives, right? So many challenges, whether it is financially or from a job perspective. I know some of us are moving to a different place. All of these are very challenging situations that are going on in our life. With our kids, whatever is going on in their lives, how to bring them up and how to think about their future. Whatever it is that is bothering you, whatever it is that's going on in your lives, right? Where is your faith? And how is your faith? Is it unwavering? We just read, right? If someone can read from that again, how does faith look like? Like Hebrews chapter 11, someone can read that. It talks about the faith.
Now faith is confidence in what we hope, firm and assurance about what we do not see.
Yeah, that's good, right? Faith is believing in something that we cannot see. That's where we stop, like, that's not going to happen, right? We never want to do that. If we want to believe something, we want to see it first. And believe me, even if Jesus appears here and tells you that I am the Jesus, like, you'd be like, okay, let me touch you. I don't know, maybe you're not real, maybe you just did something, right? Maybe you're just projecting an image or something, right? We will never trust, because that's our human tendency. But we have to overcome that. And how do we overcome that? By investing in the Word, right? I'll ask this question. Reading a Bible, we all do, right? We've been doing this from our childhood. But do you really read? Read as in read. Not read as in read, but really read. We know the difference, right? We read a book, it's done. If you ask so many people, they'll be like, oh, I read the Bible 20 times from end to end. Ask them a question, I have no clue. And what's the point? What's the point of reading the whole Bible 20 times if you really don't get the gist of it? And if you don't have the faith? We have so many self-help books out there, right? We want to better ourselves. We want to become a better version of ourselves. We are not good at public speaking, or we are not good at certain things, technical skills, or skills that are useful for our work. What do? We get some books, Amazon.com, let me read these books. Now I'm going to better myself. But are you bettering your Christian life? Are you better than yesterday, or are you even worse? A lot of us, when we were reborn, think of the day that you accepted Jesus into your life. If you did, right? Because I don't know each one of your stories here, but I'm just making an assumption. If you were already baptized, what was your faith then? And how does it look like today? Is it better or is it worse? Are we in a routine because, hey, we are Christians, we have to go to the church. We are Christians, we have to read the Bible. We are Christians, we have to talk about Jesus. Or do we really have something happening in our lives? Christianity should be visible in our lives, right? When you look at someone, even before knowing the person's name, right? My name could be Ram, but my actions will tell you if I'm a Christian. It's not based on your name, because a lot of us have Christian names. Yeah, I'm Sam, so it's a given. Yeah, Sam must be Christian. But am I a Christian? No one can answer that question for you. And I encourage you to answer that question for yourself during this week. Have an assessment of yourself. In this busy life that you have, pause for a bit, right? And look at your portfolio. I've given some examples. I will ask Pastor to share this PowerPoint with all of you. Right? Go through this PowerPoint. I put in a lot of references over there, right? And read each of those references, because we don't have to go through all those references. This is nothing new, right? This is something that you have heard a million times since your childhood. But I want you to go back home and look at, how do I build my heavenly portfolio? And how do I change my life? Where is my faith today? Right? Look at the wave chart that we have. We have it somewhere here. So I have a lot of things over here. I said, like, faith in daily living. There are some references over there. What is the definition of faith? There are some references over there. So maybe if someone can read this, right? 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 7. Yeah, we live by faith, not by sight. The Bible clearly tells us, if you are willing to learn, right? If you open your hearts, Jesus will speak to you. But we could go through this entire life being like a stone without opening our hearts, right? And what will God say? I don't know you. Yeah, you came to church, you did a lot of good deeds. I have no clue who you are, because I've never seen. Your foundation itself was not on faith. I used to think growing up, yeah, be a good person, do good things, God will anyway accept you, right? But we can't be that naive. We know better, right? We know better. And in this age of technology, back in the day, right, pastors used to spend so many hours going through so much of reference material, so many Bibles, trying to put together one sermon. And even then it's not enough. We still feel like, oh my God, did I bring the right message? Did it touch someone's heart? Did it make a difference in someone's life? But today, if you are willing, you have ChatGPT, you have Gemini, right? You have Copilot. There's so many tools out there willing to provide you that information. All you have to do is ask. But are we willing to ask? Are we excited? Right? There's a new movie, James Bond movie, or whatever that excites you, right? Or John Wick movie. I'm talking about my preferences, but maybe your preferences are something else. We are always excited, when is that movie coming out? or the cricket match that happened today, India-Pakistan, right? It's so much excited. We are waiting for it. Are you waiting for the Sunday? Are you waiting for your own personal prayer? Are you waiting to read the Bible? If you ask me, not so much, because it's not that exciting. It's not that interesting. But if you want a great portfolio for your life, you have to do that. You have to invest time in that, right? And the first thing that I want you to do is get better at faith. Believe, trust. Don't be that, yeah, one day I think so, maybe not. Yeah, I was forced because I was like, I know people who have taken baptism just because of peer pressure. Oh, my dad is a preacher. What if I don't take baptism? I'm already in 7th grade. I have to do it. Everyone is already doing it. Okay, if you did it like that, then it's never too late, right? You can change your life from today, or whatever reasons were there for your faith, whatever reasons were there for your being born again. I don't know the circumstances, right? But when we accepted Jesus Christ, we had an oath. We told him that I will be a different person. I will be a true Christian, right? But are we living our life like that, right? So I have a lot of reference material over here because obviously we don't want to go through all of that, but I want you to read these things later. So this is fine, okay? We have faith. This is all good. But now faith is just the foundation, right? We talked about it. It's just the foundation. What are the different things that will happen? How do you build your portfolio, right? And magically that pie chart disappeared, but we are better than Saturn, so don't worry about it. I have it here, right? So what's the pie chart? What does a Christian portfolio look like? Think of your talents. A lot of times people tend to dismiss themselves. They look at someone. We all look at a great singer and then say like, wow, so much talented, right? But we fail to look inward. God has given each of us great talents, but we have to look inward. Focus on yourself. Don't worry about someone else's talents because they will worry about that. Let's say I'm a good singer. And why did God give me that gift? Right? We know about this story, the talents. God gives you a talent, you can hide it, right? Hide it in the backyard. Or you can invest it and grow it 10 times, 20 times, 100 times. God didn't say like, yeah, I'm giving you a singing talent, but only sing one song a week. No restrictions. I'm giving you a great talent to make money, but only make 100K. I don't know what your talents are, but I want you to look inward. Each of us has a talent, right? And how do you use those talents for the greatness of God, to build your portfolio? How do you use those for Jesus? Are you using them today? Do you even know your talents? And believe me, I'll answer for myself. I'm still searching. Because each of us is like that. They will not be obvious. You have to look for your talents. Some will be very obvious because others will tell you, hey, you're very talented, you do this better. But no one knows you more than yourself. Your wife or your family, no one knows you, only you know yourselves. So what I want you to do this week is look for your talents. And then once you have identified, it's going to take a long time. It's not going to be like you go home and boom, I know my talents, right? You have to invest time, find your talents, and then see how you can utilize those talents. And ours is a very small congregation. We all should together have a big dream for this congregation, right? We can dream big, 1,000 people, 10,000 people, no harm, we can always dream. But to get there, each of us has to do a lot, not just the bare minimum. What can we do to take this congregation to a place where a lot of souls can benefit from it? A lot of people can benefit from it. How do we take this over there? What are you doing for that? Right? Being in a small congregation, you have opportunity to do a lot of things. Don't just think that, okay, I'm singing, so I don't have to do something else. Or I'm doing this, so I don't have to do something else. Even lifting the chairs here is like, that's a chore. It's really tough. Right? Don't be on the sidelines. Jump in and do everything that you can do. Because what you're doing is, you're building a portfolio. Unlike the financial portfolio, which can break anytime, God says your eternal portfolio is never going to break. Once you invest, you're done. Right? Even if you invested 10 acts, they'll stay forever. That's in the references. You can go home and read it. The good thing about eternal investments are that you will reap the benefits and they will stay there forever. God will not forget what you are doing. Anything that you do in the congregation for the betterment of this church or for the betterment of this congregation, whatever you are doing, even a thought will be blessed. Right? And then coming to the church or reading Bible, doing prayers. Do you have time to do your own personal prayer? These are the questions that we have to ask ourselves, because no one is going to come home and check. Pastor is not going to come to our home and check, right? Are you doing your prayers? No. And think of it like this. When you have a financial portfolio, you have these financial advisors, right? All of us know CPAs and financial advisors. We go to them and what do we ask them? It's like, hey, this is what it's looking like today. I have this 200K and this is how I did it. What do you want me to do? How many times did you go to your pastor or someone who is spiritually at a better stage or a better situation than you and tell them, hey, this is what's going on in my life, but I want to do better? Are you able to do that? Go to your pastor and say, like, this is what's going on in my life. I want to do this, but my investments don't seem to get me there. Somehow I'm not able to do these things better. Can you help me? And trust me, that happens very rarely. It's not very often that we see something like that. Not because we are not doing well, because we are afraid. But don't be afraid, because I'll tell you something. The minute you stop worrying about everyone and everything, your life will get better. Because what someone thinks of me is not going to change my life in any way. What matters is, what do I think about myself? What does Jesus think about me? That is the most important thing. A lot of people have talents, but they're afraid to use because they're worried about, oh, if I get on the stage and sing, what will the other person think? Maybe I'm not good enough. But ask God. God will make you better. Maybe you're looking for a job. I always feel like as Christians, we got it easy. We don't have to work that hard. This is a belief that I had since my childhood. You don't know much about me, but I've started several companies, been very successful from a career perspective. And I've taught so many different languages like programming, product management, project management. I teach a lot since my childhood. I even taught math for deaf and dumb kids. Right? So, God has blessed you with so many talents, right? But how do you know those talents? How are you investing those talents? Right? Time is of essence. I've seen people who would say like, I'm going to wait until 70, I'm going to enjoy my life. And then at 70, I'm going to accept Jesus. I'm going to go straight to heaven. That way I get best of both, right? Because once you're a Christian, once you have accepted Christ, it's really tough. It's not that easy. It changes your life. It changes the way you think. Right? But do you know you're going to be 70? Do we know what's going to happen in few minutes from now? Or tomorrow or the day after? How much time do we have? None of us know. Right? If we don't know, how do we start investing? Let's say let's take a family for example. Someone tells the family members that the wife and husband, probably you guys not going to live that long. Unfortunate situation, something happened. Right? What do they immediately think of? Kids, right? We constantly worry about kids, their future. What am I going to do if I'm not going to be around? I tell my wife, you have to be very successful. Just in case if I go, there is someone as a backup plan. And if we both go, then we need additional backup plan. But because we are in faith, we always feel like it's okay. Maybe their life might be different, but God will take care of it. We have to have faith that no matter what happens, God is there. Life will still move on. Maybe not as we thought, but according to God's will, according to God's plan. We are not, whatever situation that you are in or whatever position that you are in, it's not because of your own efforts. Because God gave it easy for us. We are Christians, we got it easy. I never had to work too hard. I felt like, oh, just prepare a little bit and I'll be fine. Even for exams, I felt like, oh, I don't have to work that hard because I'm a Christian, I'm going to pass anyway. That's the mindset that I used to have. And one thing that happened in my life is I had so much faith that I thought my grandfather is going to come back from death. So I was praying. It's been 15 days, it's been a year, it's been 2 years, 3 years, and I continue to pray. Then I understood, yeah, it's different. God has a plan too, right? You have to understand certain things. But having that kind of faith, they say faith moves mountains, right? I mean, obviously none of us want to move mountains, but we have other mountains in our lives that we want to move. Whether it is your career, your health, or your future, or whatever personal situations that you are going through with your family, or with your kids, or with your parents. We all have elder parents. I don't know what your situations are, but what moves those mountains? Faith. And I want you to ask this question to yourself, where is your faith? And okay, this is great. If we are building a lot of wealth, we finally want something, right? We are humans, we don't do anything for free. I'm going to do something, but what will I get out of it? And Jesus knew this. God knew all of this, right? So he said, you're going to get a lot of crowns, right? We all want crowns. Who hates crowns? Yeah, I want to be a king. Yeah, why not? Want to be a queen? Yeah, absolutely. Right? We'll never say no. At least I will not say no to it. If someone wants to give me a crown, I'm like, yeah, be my guest, right? What does Bible say about these crowns or eternal rewards? There's a crown of life. Maybe we'll read few. If someone can read Matthew 6, 19, 20. Yeah, thank you. Right? So this is the crown of life. When you're building your eternal wealth, Jesus says, your reward is higher. But what happens is, none of these verses are new for us. We have heard these verses so many times. I'm sure you have discussed this in our Bible studies and several other preachers that you have been part of, like the congregations or churches since our childhood. But does it move your heart? Right? We hear a lot of things in life. We talk to a lot of people, but not everyone touches us, right? Some people we feel like really close. We feel like, oh wow, I have great attachment. But some other people would be like, yeah, I don't want to spend too much time with them, right? And how is the word from the Bible interacting with you? Is it just like, yeah, okay, yeah, we talk, but we are not that great friends? Or does it really touch you and move you? If it is not touching you and moving you, the problem is you have closed your heart. You're too hard because your faith is not there. We never really invest in something that we don't have faith in, right? So you have to have faith. So the single thing that I want you to answer for the next week, I'm going to go through these things quickly, but I will give this to you so you can read about it. What I want you to think about is the coming week, how do I build my eternal portfolio? Where am I today? That's very important. If you don't do a self-assessment of where you are today, you can never get to a better place. And that's a tough question to answer for anyone, right? These are really tough questions to answer for yourself. You might think that I have my whole life, I will do this later on. But who knows? God may never bring this message to you, right? Today He has used me as a vessel to give this message to you, to give this word to you, to change your life forever and ever. But you could do that, or you could just ignore it and then hope for this somewhere down the line, but maybe you'll never have it again. We don't know, right? So how will this message change your life? What I want you to do is, we are in a different world, right? Everything is visual. Let's say you want to buy a plane. They say, like, take a picture of the plane, print it out, and put it right in front of your face, where you get to see it every day. And the plane will ask you a question, hey, you wanted to buy me, right? What's going on? Are you planning for it? Are you making any money? Or am I just going to be a poster here? It'll taunt you. What I want you to do is take the picture of the pie chart of this eternal portfolio. How can I build my eternal portfolio? Am I going to worship? Am I reading the Bible? Am I praying to Jesus? Right? How is the word working in my life? Am I being a true Christian for my own sake, not for anyone's sake? Right? And how am I using my talents? Did I even find my talents? And how am I helping the next generation? Right? These are all the different aspects of the pie chart. It's not just us. Children always look up to the parents. You always think that I'm going to drink, but I'm going to tell my kids not to drink. Doesn't work like that. Kids will not remember what you said. Kids will remember what you did. So are you being an exemplary father and an exemplary mother? It's never too late. Change from today. Because these things will impact their life. They'll remember, oh, for me, I will give you an example. For me and my wife, I always try to help her. The reason I try to help her is, I think of my mom and I think of my dad. I know how my dad took care of my mom. He would always be there for her. If she was going through a tough time, he would be the first person. He would take a broom and sweep also. So dad and mom, they had like several organizations. We had like maybe 15, 16 organizations, hundreds of people. We had schools which had like thousands of people. We had ITI, Polytechnic College. They were like really big shots in our area. But they were always very humble. My dad was very humble, very loving and caring towards my mom. I never saw my dad do something that would hurt my mom. So I already have an example. He never told me, hey, Sam, this is how you take care of your wife. My dad never said anything to me. But I feel like, oh, I've seen an example. And I've seen the same, how my mom treats my dad, how my mom loves my dad. Today my dad is much older, he's 80. But still my mom is there right next to him, doing everything for him because he's going through a lot of health situations. But my mom never leaves his side. Even till date, my dad and mom, they always go together wherever they go. There was not even a single incident in their life that where my mom went somewhere and my dad was not there, or my dad went somewhere and my mom was not there. So we try to do that. I mean, yeah, I'm not perfect, and I think the bar was too high for me. We are human. But what is it that you're teaching your kids? If you're reading the Bible to your kids, they're going to Sunday school, yeah, all of this is great. But what is the example that you can set? If you have a son, are you teaching him how to be a good son, good parent, good father? Because he's going to be a father in the future. And believe me, whatever you teach him and whatever he's seeing in you, those things will carry to the next generation. That's a big part of the pie. Are you teaching them to be good Christians? Are you giving them good Christian values? If you're sitting in the house complaining about people and talking ill about people, what will the kids learn? They will think, yeah, maybe that's fine. We can talk bad about people. Right? So I want you to ask yourself all these tough questions. I know we don't have a lot of time. We are very busy. I understand. Right? We have a lot of things going on in our lives. It's very busy. But we don't know when our life is going to end. It could be today. It could be tomorrow. It could be day after tomorrow. We don't know. But if you want to have eternal life, if you want to be in the presence of Jesus, right? And if you have accepted Jesus in your life, I want you to change again today. Question yourself and bring that change within yourselves, right? And how are you helping others, the community, the outreach, the evangelism? We are supposed to go and take the word to everyone in the world. Are you doing that? Don't just do one thing. See how many diversifications you can do, or how you can diversify your portfolio. Right? Do a little bit of everything. And the challenge that I throw in front of you is, if you can hit at least one thing in each of these areas in the next 1 year. I'm not even talking about 1 week. In the next 1 year, have a goal. Okay, put everything aside and say, like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to use my talents. I'm going to go to the church. I'm going to read Bible. I'm going to pray. I'm going to make sure I do each one of these things across the pie chart and see how your life changes. The pie chart has the potential to change your life, but only if you let it change. But if you let it sit, then it's not going to do much. So today's message has the potential to change your life if you're willing to change. But if you're not, then it's just going to be something that you will forget. And we will only remember the other stuff, right? Like the Bahubali stuff that we started with, right? That we will never forget. But I want this to be the Bahubali stuff in your life. Take the pie chart, have an assessment of yourself. If you look at the wave chart here, right? That's our faith one, which is going up and down, all those irregular things we see. That's how Christian faith is, depending on what's going on in our lives. There are ups, there are downs, so many things going on in our lives. But you see that another sine wave going, wherever the irregularity is going, there is a sine wave also going, right? That's the grace of God. Without that grace, the chart would look like downhill. It would just be like go all the way down. Imagine going from Mount Everest, skiing all the way down. That's how our faith chart would look like. So don't think that God has left you, even in your tough times, whatever you are having in your life, your situations. God did not leave you. God is still there with you. Only because God is there with you, you are like that. I'll give you an example. Yesterday, my wife fell from the chair, and she was unable to get up. We all were like terrified. Oh my God, what happened? Right? Yeah, there were some bruises. She had to go through a lot. She had to just recover from all of that. But we were like, thank God, this could have been worse. Right? It can be a simple fall can lead to death. One of my friends was driving a bike, and a car went from the side. A stone from the car tire hit him on his head, and he passed away. Who would have imagined? Life is fragile. We don't know. Right? So I want us to start investing in our lives. Just like we invest in our personal lives, we want to build wealth, we want to buy good things, we want to have a good life. But what about our eternal life, which is more valuable? What are we doing for our eternal life? If you haven't done anything so far, that's fine. Right? It's never too late to start investing. Right? Sooner the better, but it's never too late. Start investing from today. Right? As a financial advisor, which I wanted to be, right? I'm giving you this one. So start investing in yourself and be realistic with yourself, right? You're sitting in front of a room, look in a mirror. You will know who you are. No one will know. Outside, we all look great, but God said we are all imperfect. None of us is perfect. So look at your imperfections and see what you can do about those things. And I want to close with this, right? So God's grace is always there with you. Don't forget that. But for that grace to work, you need to have faith. If you have already believed Jesus, that's great. Continue to work on your faith. Get better at it. But if you haven't believed Jesus yet, you're still working on it, you're trying to look for some proof, or you're trying to wait, or you're waiting for Jesus to appear and tell you that, hey, I'm the true God. Right? So maybe that's never going to happen. God is already talking to you through the Word. We know these verses also, right? God talks to you through the Word. But you have to be open to listen to that Word. There are key takeaways over here. You can look at all of these things. One thing that I want you to do is, I want you all to close your eyes. Listen, not yet, right? So I'm going to sing a song, very small song. We're not going to sing the whole song. You know this song in and out. But what I want you to do is, forget about, the song is good, bad, doesn't matter. What I want you to focus on is the lyrics. And think of it as if you are singing for Jesus. And really meaningfully singing this song, right? Here what the song says is, Idigo Deva na Jeevitam, Apadamastakam ni Kankitam. What does it say is, take my life, everything that I am, is yours. It's something really big. It's not easy to say, right? Whom do we give ourselves to? Maybe our spouse, but not 100%, right? Maybe 50-60% or maybe 20%, I don't know, depends on, right, the couples. But what I want you to think here is, close your eyes when I'm singing this song. If you know the song, you can sing, or if you want to just listen, but I want you to meditate. Have that conversation with Jesus. We are in the presence of Jesus right here, and He's willing to talk to you, and He's knocking you on your heart. Open your hearts, have that conversation with God. It's hardly going to last for a minute, right? Let's do that. ఇదిగో దేవా నా జీవితం ఆపాదమస్తకం నీకంకితం. ఇదిగో దేవా నా జీవితం ఆపాదమస్తకం నీకంకితం. శరణం నీ చరణం, శరణం నీ చరణం. ఇదిగో దేవా నా జీవితం ఆపాదమస్తకం నీకంకితం. పలుమార్లు వై తొలగినాను పరలోక దర్శనము నుండి, విలువైన నీ దివ్య పిలుపుకు నే తగినట్లు జీవించనైతి. పలుమార్లు వై తొలగినాను నీ పరలోక దర్శనము నుండి, విలువైన నీ దివ్య పిలుపుకు నే తగినట్లు జీవించనైతి. అయినా నీ ప్రేమతో నన్ను దరి చేర్చినావు, అందుకే గైకొనుము దేవా ఈన శేష జీవితం. ప్రార్థన చేసుకుందాం. దయగలిగిన తండ్రి, కృపగలిగిన దేవ, మరి ఒకసారి తండ్రి మీ యొక్క సన్నిధిలో మీకు వేలాది స్తోత్రం చెల్లిస్తున్నాం ప్రభా. మా జీవితంలో ప్రభా ఏమేమి జరుగుతున్నాయో తండ్రి మీకు సమస్తము తెలిసిన తండ్రి. మేము మా యొక్క ఫెయిత్ యొక్క జర్నీలో తండ్రి ఎక్కడున్నామో ప్రభా మీకు సమస్తము తెలిసిన తండ్రి. గివ్ us the wisdom so that we can go home and check ourselves, check where we are in your faith. Do we truly believe you? Are we really doing the things that matter in our lives? Are we really focused in the worldly aspects of life? Are we willing to change our lives so that we can start investing in the heavenly portfolio that you have talked to us about? Give us faith, give us unwavering faith, so that we are able to see the things that haven't happened. So we are able to trust in you that you will make miracles in our lives and you will help us in all our situations. Give us the wisdom and lead us and guide us so that we can start investing in you. ఈ పాటలో ఉన్నట్టు తండ్రి అనేక సార్లు ప్రభా మేము మా యొక్క క్రిస్టియన్ ఫెయిత్ నుంచి తండ్రి మేము పడిపోయినప్పటికీ తండ్రి మీ యొక్క ఉచితమైన కృపతో ప్రభా మీరు మమ్మల్ని లేవనెత్తి ఉన్నారు తండ్రి. ఈ శేష జీవితం ప్రభా మాకెంత జీవితం ఉందో మాకు తెలియదు తండ్రి. ఉన్నటువంటి ఈ జీవితాన్ని ప్రభా మీకు అర్పించగలిగేటట్టు ఆ యొక్క నడిపింపును తండ్రి, ఆ యొక్క ఫెయిత్ను ప్రభా మాలో ఇక్కడ ఉన్నటువంటి ప్రతి ఒక్కరికి అనుగ్రహించవలసిందిగా వేడుకుంటున్నాం తండ్రి. మా యొక్క అవసరములలో తండ్రి మీరు ఉండండి ప్రభా. మీ కృప ప్రభా మాకు చాలును తండ్రి. మీ యొక్క కృపను ప్రభా మా జీవితంపై ఉంచి తండ్రి మమ్మల్ని మేము మార్చుకొనడానికి, అలాగనే ప్రభా మేము ఎవరెవరితోటైతే ఇంటరాక్ట్ అవుతున్నాం తండ్రి వారి జీవితంలో ప్రభా మార్పును తీసుకురావడానికి సహాయం అనుగ్రహించండి ప్రభా. ఒకవేళ తండ్రి ఇక్కడ ఉన్నటువంటి వారు ఎవరైనా ప్రభా ఇంకా మిమ్మల్ని ఇంకా ప్రభా మిమ్మల్ని యాక్సెప్ట్ చేయకుండా తండ్రి ఒక సరి అయిన సమయం కొరకు, లేదంటే ఒక దర్శనము కొరకు, లేదంటే ఒక మెరికల్ కొరకు వెయిట్ చేస్తున్నట్లయితే తండ్రి, ఈ యొక్క వాక్యం ద్వారా ప్రభా వారితో మాట్లాడండి ప్రభా. శాస్త్రులు పరిచయాలు చేసినట్లు కాకుండా తండ్రి, మీ యొక్క శిష్యులు ప్రభా అన్నింటినీ వదిలి ప్రభా మీ వెనకాల మీ యందు విశ్వాసంతో ఎలాగ ప్రభా వారు నడిచారో తండ్రి, ఆ విధమైనటువంటి నడిపింపుని తండ్రి మాలో ఉన్న ప్రతి ఒక్కరికి అనుగ్రహించండి ప్రభా. మా కఠినమైనటువంటి మనసులను తండ్రి మార్చి ప్రభా, మంచి హృదయం అనుగ్రహించి ప్రభా, మంచి క్రైస్తవులుగా తండ్రి మా యొక్క జీవితంలో తీర్చిదిద్దవలసిందిగా మా ప్రభును ప్రియరక్షకుడైన యేసుక్రీస్తు నామము పేరట మిక్కిలి వినయంతో బ్రతిమాలుకుని వేడుకుంటున్నాం తండ్రి. ఆమేన్.